Hi everyone, this is Karen from Vargas Travel, and today I'm so excited that we have someone from the International Fellowship of Christian for Jews with us, all the way from Israel. We have Abe. So, Abe, can you go ahead and introduce yourself? Tell us what you do.
I live here in Jerusalem. I'm calling you from my home, my humble Jerusalem home. Fellowship for the past 3 years, and I've mainly worked in welcoming groups, mainly Christians, but Christians and Jews who have visited the Holy Land of Israel and are connected or desire to want to give to Israel to our ministry. It's called the Fellowship, and it's the largest philanthropic organization that functions here in Israel.
Could you tell us a little bit more about what the fellowship does and how it serves the community?
Absolutely. The fellowship has, it's a very vast organization. If I went into it, I'd probably be here all day and all night. But I'll give you the four major buckets that we work with for this intents and purpose. One of our main focuses is bringing the Jewish people back to the homeland of Israel, fulfilling the prophecies of Isaiah, fulfilling the prophecies of Ezekiel, and returning the lost children of Israel home to the land of Israel. We bring over 5,000 immigrants from countries that are mainly more impoverished countries. They're not. We're not bringing back Jews from the North America or England. Bringing back Jews from the former Soviet Union, from Argentina, Brazil, many countries around the world. I'll make sure that they know what to expect, that they can find themselves housing, they find themselves support, all that great stuff. The second arm of our ministry is focused on poverty and helping those who are impoverished here in Israel. In Israel, we have one of the largest wage gaps between the wealthy in Israel and the poor in Israel. Here, there's a poverty rate of roughly one in every five people is under the poverty level, and it's very, very hard on the society here. We're still a very new country. There's a lot of things that we still haven't ironed out in the way that we operate. A lot of the focus of Israel's budget and economy is focused on defending the people of Israel through the Israel Defense Forces. And a lot of that doesn't really trickle down to the populations of Israel that are in need of support. There's a huge, massive elderly population in Israel, mainly immigrants from the former Soviet Union, who are Jews that came here without their families, and they came here with nothing in their pockets. Those people, the Holocaust survivors, people who have survived the Holocaust and sometimes alone, sometimes with a spouse or something like that, and have made Aliyah, who have come here and immigrated to Israel, are the main people that the fellowship is dedicated to supporting on a day-to-day basis. That's our poverty arm. And in addition to that, we support what the Bible tells us to support: orphans, widows, and of course the elderly. The third arm that we're working on in Israel here is security. We're helping to provide security for many communities that are suffering from rocket fire as a result of the ongoing war that we have with the Palestinians that live in Gaza. They oftentimes fire rockets from behind civilians at civilian population centers like Sderot in the south part of Israel. And the fellowship is on the ground there providing very practical things for the society. We're renovating hospitals so that they have underground hospital units that they're able to treat and triage in cases of mass casualties. And those have actually been very useful in the recent coronavirus outbreak. Some of those hospital units have been converted very easily because they're underground and you can seal off the air pathways into underground hospital treating coronavirus people here in Israel. We're providing bomb shelters for the communities in the southern regions of the country. We're finding places where there's a huge lack. You have about 15 seconds to run to a bomb shelter if there's a rocket coming towards your city in the south of Israel. And if there's not a bomb shelter within 15 seconds of your walking, then you're putting yourself at risk. So we make sure that there's enough bomb shelters in public areas and major areas to provide some sort of protection for the people of Israel.
Okay.
We have programs, of course, supporting the Israeli Defense Forces because they get a good pat on the back for standing and guarding our borders day and night. And the final area that the fellowship is involved in is helping elderly Jews that are still located within the Ukraine. We have an orphanage there that we're supporting in the Ukraine, but mainly the majority of our efforts are working towards providing for people who are in extreme poverty. Also, generally, Holocaust survivors is the typical population that we go to help.
Okay. Wow. Well, thank you for providing that summary for us. We're really excited to be able to serve with the fellowship next year. And could you tell us a little bit about how your day to day looks like in Israel right now? How's the weather? How's everything going right now?
The weather has been up and down. We had rain yesterday. Today it's sunshine and 70 degrees. Tomorrow is planned cloudy, potential rain. It's been up and down. We had a dust storm recently. During this whole crisis, all of our staff, myself included, have been repurposed into operating in this environment because the people who are suffering the most are generally the vulnerable populations that we're already serving. The elderly and orphans and widows and people who are alone, who don't have the support of their families. And in many cases, also the government of Israel has been so locked down with the virus that it's been hard for them to keep a track of providing needs, for the people here in Israel. And so we're working around the clock to make sure that no one is left, no stone is left unturned. We're providing additional food, whatever we can, for the people here.
Okay, and I'm very glad to hear that you're starting to go back into society. We haven't done that in the US yet, but we're going to start within the next few weeks. But I wanted to ask you because I get this question a lot. Is it safe to travel to Israel? So how would you respond to that question? What would you say?
I've thought about a good answer to this as well. I get this a lot as well. I work within tourism. I've welcomed, thank God, since I joined the fellowship, maybe almost 5,000 people.
Oh my God.
In the past 3 years. I've really met a lot of really wonderful people, and the fact is that every single person who's met me so far has been invited to join my family as well. So
Okay.
I have a massive family around the world, thank God. I'll refer us to the Bible, Numbers 13. It speaks about the spies that are about to enter the land of Israel. And there are 10 spies that give a somewhat negative report of Israel, and 2 spies that give a very positive report in Israel. There's Caleb ben Jephunneh, and then there's Joshua ben Nun. Joshua goes on to be the leader of Israel and bring them into the land of Israel as well. So the other spies say there's fortifications in Israel, there's giants, the land swallows the people, but it's a land flowing with milk and honey, and the people become scared as a result of their testimony, and they say, there's no way we can go into the land of Israel. It was better to us to have gone back to Egypt, they say. But Joshua and Caleb, they're an example for us and how to behave today and understand how to be an ambassador of Israel. Israel is a place that is, I'll say that it's very safe. I feel very safe living here. We have the Israeli Defense Forces that are protecting us on a day-to-day basis from any threat. Tourists are coming here by the millions, and I hope everyone is having a good time when they're coming here, even though the streets and the marketplaces are packed and full of people. It's possible to come here as one of those spies and give a negative report and then affect and cause fear from other people. But I encourage you and I encourage everyone who comes to the land of Israel to be a Joshua, to be a Caleb, and see the land flowing with milk and honey. Try not to focus on the fear of Israel, because we all know, every single one of us knows, that God is here protecting us.
Yeah, amen. Well, I can definitely tell you from last year when my family and I visited Israel, I felt like it was home. Like I didn't feel fear. I just wanted to live there. I absolutely loved it. So thank you for sharing that with us. And like I mentioned at the beginning, thank you so much for your time in allowing us to chat with you all the way from Israel. And we're really looking forward to just serving with the fellowship in the future. So if you could just end this meeting with a prayer, if we could pray for the situation that's going on in the world, that God just work and show us new vision, new insight, new passion to serve him and do more for him. And also for those of us that will be traveling to Israel next year and serving with the fellowship.
So I pray that the major thing that we need in this time right now, the whole world has been affected by this thing. It feels like we're all one tight global community.
Yeah.
We're all hunkered down in our homes, and many of us are fearing the worst. And oftentimes it feels like we're walking in the valley of the shadow of death. And in the valley of the shadow of death, it's hard to look up and see God. But God is here, and God is with us.
Amen.
God is a healer. God will provide healing for his people.
Yeah.
And He is protecting us even during these times when there's darkness around us at all times. This is to remind us, and it's strange how this virus has functioned. It's caused so many people to be stuck in their homes, and for many people around the world, it seems almost like a needed thing to try to be with your family and care about your neighbors and care about the people close to you. Realize that there's despite this huge global community that's being affected by this, we need to focus inwards and focus on ourselves and remaining healthy and helping our family remain healthy. So I pray that, Father God, that you help us to remain healthy, you protect us in our ways, in our paths, in our goings and our comings, and that you bring us all to redemption and especially to the land of Israel.
Yes, yes. Amen. Awesome. Well, how do you say God bless you in Hebrew? Hashem?
Hashem. Yeah, Hashem. We usually refer to God as Hashem.
Hashem. Okay.
And Yivarech, bracha is like a blessing. Okay. Yivarech. Otcha. You.
Atcha. Okay. I'll work on that.
You could rewatch this and see if you pick it up. Yivarech otcha.
Okay. I'll definitely.
May God bless you.
Work on that. Awesome. Well, God bless you, Abe. And we will be in touch, and we look forward to being in Israel next year. Shalom.